am.
You do.
And your family.
Very excited. Another again, once again. Yeah.
Yeah.
You made the decision, Sean.
I think my son was the 8th grade. And she went for it. Yeah, she took the tour and everything. I'm pretty sure, you know what, they have to be happy.
Oh, it's the same thing as what I told you in the elevator with Jim. Thank you. I'm supposed to put it there, but there's posters. Look at Hung. It's very festive.
It looks like today, Hong does.
Looks amazing. Oh, I got my favorite color.
All right, we're at 4:41. Licensing Committee meeting for Tuesday, November 28th. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilor Field,
Present.
President Council Hogan,
Present.
President Councilor Lozey, absent Councilor Net,
Present.
President Councilor Allensug.
Present.
Okay, we have a transfer of a Class 2 auto dealer at 171 Commercial Street from Colecraft to Willie V. Motorsports, Inc.
Something you're familiar with, Councilor Hogan?
Yes, this has been a long-standing business in our Ward 6 for a long time, which was our cold craft. And if you drive by the area, you can see the new business in there has cleaned up the area. It actually looks very well, and I'd just like to make a motion to approve.
Excellent. We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Net. Any further discussion? Seeing none, switch to the committee.
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve, I'm sorry. All in favor? Do you want to speak?
Aye.
You want to speak? Or you
Describe your business to us? Sure.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Brito, and this is my partner Juan Rodriguez. We're the co-owners of Willie V Motorsports, and we just want to express our gratitude for always giving us the opportunity to further our entrepreneurship and lending us a hand to lend a hand to the rest of the city. And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity.
Good luck. Thank you. We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Any further discussion? Let's do a roll call on this one, please.
Council Field.
Yes.
Yes, Council Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Council Lozey, absent Council Net.
Yes.
Yes, Council Allensug.
Yes.
Unanimous. License will be ready Thursday after 8:30 in the clerk's office. Thank you and good luck.
Good job, guys.
Okay. We have tabled Old Gold Silver license and a secondhand article license, both at 334 Broadway, Cash King LLC.
Cash King LLC, does anybody want to take it off the table? Motion to take it off the
Motion to
table?
take off the table.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're off the table. Cash King, why don't you come ahead?
How you doing? My name's Hector Zavala,
Yeah.
3 River Street Place, Lynn, Massachusetts.
Yep.
I'm like the owner of Cash King, so I was just trying to get approval for the business to be partners and pursue my entrepreneurship in the city of Lynn. I did try to reach out to Lozey, Councilman Lozey myself, to see if he'll make it, but I did not get an answer. However, I do have the copies of all the signatures that he required.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you guys have a copy as well. But
Copies of the signatures.
as far as like the neighboring businesses goes, they reiterated that they don't have an issue with my business being there.
Okay.
So
Yep. Does anybody else want to see the list?
Can I? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have any, why don't you have a seat just right there aside?
Thank
See if there's any questions. Question for Attorney
Can I-
Lamanna. Attorney Lamanna, we're discussion, Cash King LLC for 334 Broadway. And that's a type of business that can go right into there? That area?
I just walked in.
Sorry, we're on number 2 for licensing, Cash King LLC.
Okay.
That's a type of business that can fit right into that area there. No parking, everything's all clear for that.
That's my understanding that that's a business district in Wyoming Square.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any questions for the owner? Or
Do you know why New Hall did not sign?
New Hall Liquors, actually, their main concern was the parking,
Yeah.
but the parking, to me, the concern is like the street parking in front of
It's
the
not a public-
businesses. And then we also have back parking in back of the business. He just didn't like the idea of my customers parking in front of his.
Yeah, because that is as a ward councillor, that is something your ward councillor should know as well and make that decision and make that recommendation to us.
Okay.
If all of those blanks, if all those signatures are 100%
Yeah.
signed, then that would be a different story. That's my take, Mr. Chairman.
Fair? Anyone else have any other questions?
I think I'm all set.
Councilor McLean?
I just want to know what type of business this is going to be. Like, what exactly will you be doing?
Oh, it's just, we just would like to just have the ability to buy and sell, like anything really, like anything that has like a resellable profit value on it, we would like to like take in. So it could be anything, whether like used tools, like old electronics, like anyone's just trying to get rid of old knickknacks, maybe some silver, some gold, whatever they might have.
Is that a pawn shop?
Similar, but we're not gonna pawn stuff, no. We just want to have the ability to buy and sell.
So we tabled it because Councilor Lozey wasn't here.
Right, and he's still not here. So
Right.
that's not our fault.
All right, so we saw the.
So I see the signatures here. I'm comfortable with it. What's the wish of the committee?
Oh, okay. So motion to approve,
We
Mr.
have a
Second.
motion to approve. It's seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's do a roll call on this one, please.
Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Alansog?
Yes.
Yes.
That carries. Okay, your license will be ready Thursday after 8:30 in the clerk's office.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
want to give you guys, say thank you once
Thank you.
again for the
Good
opportunity.
luck, okay?
Good luck.
And that covers, do we have to do the second-hand article? Is that
Nope.
covered under that one?
That's all together, yep.
Thank
So
you.
now we have renewals.
Renewals, will take them as a whole if we can.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second it. Any discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All those carry. I think we have a couple of canning dates.
Okay, we have the Lynn Rams, adults only, November 28, 29, 30, 2023. And we have the Lynn Bulldogs, adults only, November 27th, 2023.
What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second, all in, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Those canning dates are approved officially. Any other business, Madam Clerk?
No other business.
No other business, what's the wish of the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Festive, it's amazing.
Wait, what?
Lynn Trash 515.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Recreational Cannabis Site Plan Review Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Present.
Present Counsel Alanson?
Present.
Present Counsel LaPierre?
Present.
Present Attorney Lamanna?
Present.
Present Mr. Donovan? Absent. Mr. Caudell? Absent.
Okay, thank you. Discussion regarding Leafy's Holistic Meals, which was tabled at our last meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to remove this off the table.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to remove from the table. All those in favor?
Aye. Mr.
What's the
Chairman,
wish of the committee? Counsel Arlington.
yes, Mr. Chairman, I spoke with several residents already and made phone calls. I tabled this the last time just to make sure that everybody understand. I did a lot of massive social media and newsletter campaign. The residents are okay now, so I move to move this for approval.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve Leafy's Holistic Meals proposal. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Attorney Lamanna?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Donovan? Absent. Mr. Caudell? Absent.
Okay, thank you. Any other business?
No more.
Committee?
Motion adjourned.
Motion second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So my next project next. It's all good. No.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ways and Mean Committee meeting. Madam Clerk, I call the meeting to order. Please roll call.
Counsel Net?
Present.
Present Counsel Staben?
Present.
Present Counsel Hogan?
Present.
Present Counsel Chakutis?
Present.
Present Counsel Walsh?
Present.
Present.
Could you please do the transfer?
Okay, we have $1,575.45 from the Fire Department expense to the Fire Department bill of prior year.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. $299 from the FAO expense to the FAO bill of prior year.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
$187.50 from the Law Department expense to the Law Department bill of prior year.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
$26.72 from the emergency management expense to the Lynn Fire bill of prior year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Certified funds, please.
We have $258,647.92 to the school department to fund 2 school community directors for Ford and Washington STEM schools.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
$52,000 to the DPW to support the Sustainable Materials Recovery Program grant.
Mr. Rich Committee.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
$27,595 to the school department for the FY24 PEBT grant.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Orders, please.
Pursuant to the votes of the City Council dated July 13, 2021, and September 28, 2021, regarding the American Recovery Plan Act, the City Council hereby authorizes that the city shall allocate the sum of $64,000 from ARPA for use by the Police Department for crime prevention software hardware.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Could you read resolution?
We have a resolution that the City of Lynn file and accept grants with and from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs for the parkland acquisitions and renovations for communities programs for improvements to Lynn Commons Historic Fountain Plaza. Whereas the Lynn Commons is a treasured community-wide asset and the improvements to this recreational area are a city priority as evidenced by the most recent Open Spaces and Recreation Plan. And whereas the Lynn Commons is dedicated to park and recreation purposes under Mass General Law, Chapter 45, Section 3. Whereas Lynn Commons' ultimate restoration is guided in principle by both user and neighborhood requests, the city's open space and recreation plan, and the Lynn Common Master Plan. One of the common focal points, the historic Fountain Plaza, is the subject of this grant and the funds sought through the application. The fountain is currently inoperable, and it is the plaza that has fallen into disrepair. Through this grant application and the allocation of Community Development Block Grant funds, the City of Lynn hopes to bring the fountain back online and to renovate the plaza to further establish the concept of place that is the Lynn Commons and to diversify the park's cultural landscape. Whereas the overall cost and fiscal budget constraints prevented the city from proceeding forward with implementation of this project, and whereas the project was viewed as a series of phases to be implemented over time by priority, as fiscal resources become available with intention of securing grant funding when and if available to assist in this effort. Whereas the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs is offering reimbursable grants to cities and towns to support the preservation and restoration of urban parks throughout the parkland acquisitions and reservations for community grant programs. Whereas this phase of the Lynn Common Historical Fountain Plaza will cost a total of $500,000, and the city has allocated $500,000 in funds to secure a park grant award of $350,000 for the design and construction of improvements to Lynn Commons Historical Fountain Plaza. Now therefore be it that the mayor be and is hereby authorized to file and accept grants from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. The mayor be and hereby authorized to take such actions as necessary to carry out the terms, purposes, and conditions of this grant to be administered by the Office of Economic and Community Development, that this resolution shall take place upon passage.
What's the wish committee?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
This is it, right? Any emergency on this, Mr. Spencer? No emergency. What's the wish committee?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned. Thank you.
Mr.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I would like to call the Utilities Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councillor Allensburg.
Present.
Present Council McLean.
Present.
Present Council Hogan.
Present.
Present Council Calucci.
Present.
Okay, we have 3 items on the agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the first one.
We have a petition to install one joint-owned pole on Bridge Street at the intersection of Boston Street and Bridge Street.
Thank you. Let's open this for public hearing. Is there anybody here wish to speak in favor? Name, address, and for the record, please.
Good evening, Jose Luis Azurdia, 111 Lincoln Street, Revere.
Can you tell us about this project, the first one? Boston Street and Bridge Street.
Yep. So in this case, we're requesting to install one new infill pole along Bridge Street to accommodate the installation of a new feeder monitor, which is part of our system improvement for the primary overhead lines to monitor the voltage current for that primary.
Thank you. Just take your seat first. We'll continue the public hearing. Anybody here wish to speak in favor? Anybody here wish to speak in favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody here wish to speak in opposition? 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 Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Sir, can you go back? Council President Walsh, do you have any questions, sir? This is your ward.
I do, thanks. If I could just find out a little bit more, this is a pretty narrow street down there. I'm not on this committee, they're letting me speak here, I appreciate that. But I'm just curious, where on that street? It's a one-way street, it's very narrow. Is it going to be on the left or right side as you're going down?
Yeah, so it's going to be the second pole adjacent to the substation. I believe it's the Bridge Street substation on that street. Basically, that pole needs to be near in proximity to the substation to be able to get good readings on the current and voltage in that area. So it's basically an antenna going on that pole.
Oh, it's because it's an antenna that's going to go on top of the pole.
Yeah, so it needs the signal strength to reach the substation.
Okay, all right, I'm fine with this.
You're
Thank
good?
you, thank you.
Thank you. What's the wish of the committee?
Motion approved.
Second. Saying aye?
Aye.
Petition carries. Second, Madam Clerk?
Second petition from National Grid is to install one joint-owned pole on Western Ave at the intersection of Western Ave and Washington Street.
Jose, can you explain this? Thank you.
Yep. So this is another similar situation. We need to install a new infill pole along Western Ave to be able to monitor the primary overhead lines. And I believe the substation near that is Granite Street substation. So it's similar case. Thank you.
Take your seat, sir. We'll finish the public hearing. Anybody here wish to speak in favor? Anybody here wish to speak in favor? Say none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody here wish to speak in opposition? 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 Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. I spoke with Councillor Chakoudas and reviewed all the documents here. Any questions from the rest of the committee members? What's the wish of the committee?
Motion approved.
Second? Any second?
Second.
Second by Councillor McLean. Saying aye? Petition carries. What is the third one, Madam Clerk? Oh, okay. Can you please read it, and I will call all councillors who would like to speak.
Okay. Council Calucci recommends that the following stipulations be included in all approvals given to utility companies requesting permits from the city. When utility companies are opening any streets in the city, they will patch from medium strip 25 feet either way of the hole. Also, if they cut the length of the street to put a line in instead of just patching the cut, a repave from the medium to the curb side where the work is done.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would like to request a representative from National Grid to please approach the podium. Councillor Calucci?
Hi. We're having some problems in the city of Lynn. Just recently on Deer Cove Ave, it was repaved a month and a half ago. National Grid is marking it up to cut it. All through the Highlands, you guys did gas lines to every house. Rick Starbuck could attest to it. And I said, and I talked to the DPW commissioner. He said that you guys will repave it curb to curb, and you never did it. So the streets look like put it this way, if you're driving down the street, you're gonna start urinating blood. So we have to do something about it.
Thank you, Councilor Colucci. Councilor Hogan, Ward 6.
This is going on throughout the whole city. We've got a lot of streets that are newly paved and getting redug up for gas lines and et cetera. And we have to hold these utilities to a higher level, and they have to do a better job because we work so hard to get our streets done over in our wards. They get torn up for gas lines, and then they're not being replaced the right way. So I concur with Councilor Colucci, and I'm behind this 100%.
Thank you. Council President Walsh.
Thank you. So this is going to segue into something that's going to happen later on tonight with our Public Works Department and some of the contractors that are going to be here. So I just want to add this, that none of them are following the manual for digging up the streets, period. We all got this tonight. I gave everybody one. I'll speak a little bit in the regular council meeting about it. We need to have somebody making them accountable for it. You know, and if departments within this city is not going to do that, this council will do it. As long as I'm here, we're going to make sure this happens. This is an enforceable thing. As far as streets getting dug up, you know, this is money we fight for. I'm a ward councilor. We get constituents calls all the time about it. And then I had a sidewalk that was brand new. It was there for like probably a month, and they started cutting the sidewalk up. You know, there's got to be, we need to have some accountability within our own city too, in our own city government, and department heads here. But the utilities, and I know you're the one here, I'm sorry, you just happen to be standing here, you're going to take the brunt of some of it. But we need you to take it back. And I know there's going to be some more discussion tonight. You know, we try to keep a pretty good rapport with contractors and people that are working in the city. We recognize the need for the infrastructure improvements and upgrades. And I think the council's been pretty fair to a lot of people over time. But we won't be, and we will make sure it's enforced going forward. But this is for a further discussion, I think, for later on tonight also. And I support this, what Councilor Colucci is doing. I would just like to get a little more into the weeds tonight too, and we should probably have more discussion on it then.
Thank you, Council President Walsh. Jose?
Yeah, so I agree with everything you guys are saying. Unfortunately, I'm only on the electric side. I can't answer for anything that's done on the gas side. They're completely independent from us. But I know that there is a rep that she was there in the Everett City Hall, similar situation, and I do believe they need to be accountable for their mistakes. So I would need to, I can follow up with them, see maybe they can attend the next hearing, and they can, see what we can do about that.
Thank you, Jose. Mr. President, I'm also glad that we have two gentlemen here who are from Lynn. It's a breath of fresh air having representatives from National Grid who are actually from our city. I think we just opened a Pandora box. I think we need to calendar this for our next meeting and invite all the parties involved in having a thorough discussion and conversations, because what you just said, you're totally an independent group from the others. And this is happening everywhere, even in my street near my home. I know the mayor drives there as well. There's like potholes everywhere, and it was just a brand new street as well. And it's just sad to see, and our neighbors are not happy. So this is a thorough discussion. And thank you, Councilor Colucci, for pushing this, and Councilor Hogan and Councilor Walsh. What is the wish of the committee?
Accept.
Motion to adjourn.
Accept. This is a educational, conversational. We'll continue that one.
And motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We'll adjourn. Second? Okay. Thank you, guys.
the Lynn Trash Litter Subcommittee meeting for Tuesday, November 28th. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Counsel Field?
Present.
Present Counsel Chakutis? Present Counsel Calucci? Present Mr. Donovan? Absent Ms. Snerick? Present. Mr. Stilian? Absent. Attorney Lamanna? Present. And Mr. Pena? Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, everybody from the committee. Thank you, fellow colleagues and council. Tonight, we have the honor, Councilor Chakutis and I, and our colleagues and Mayor Nicholson, we have the honor of issuing citations for the finalists for the city's second Big Belly Barrels artwork. I believe you see all the artwork displayed just in front of us here. And it says second round. I said second round because this is the second round. Our first round of 60-plus barrels that went out throughout the city. I think some of you have seen those in parks and the beautiful artwork already on those Big Belly barrels. We look forward to having the artwork displayed by these talented students on our new barrels when they arrive. I'd like to invite Councilor Chakutis and Mayor Nicholson to also speak. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Field. Good evening, councilors. Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be able to welcome and congratulate the newest participants in our collective effort here to keep the city clean. We all work together to get the first batch of Big Bellies out into our parks to help keep the city clean. And we have gotten some really great feedback, not only on the utility and the value of the barrels themselves, but also the way that they brighten those public spaces with the artwork that our students provided in the first round. And so we were able to get 20 more barrels, and we're putting them not just in parks, but also in municipal parking lots. Most of them have a solar compactor, as a lot of you know, that allow for maximum capacity, and then they send an electronic message when the barrel is full. So they're high-tech barrels as well. And these 20 have artwork from around the city. All residents were eligible to apply, and we were able to get 19 submissions that represent students from the Frederick Douglass Collegiate Academy, St. Pius, Lynn Tech, Lynn English, Sisson Elementary, Hood Elementary, and Thurgood Marshall Middle School. And we are so proud of everyone that shared their talent on this incredibly important goal we have to keep our city looking beautiful. So on behalf of the City of Lynn, it is my honor to thank everyone involved, the folks at Department of Public Works and Parks and Rec, the counselors, the folks in my office, particularly Valerie Vong, who is a point person on this, and really the whole team in the city, and especially those residents that stepped up and shared their talents and their vision to help us accomplish this. So on behalf of the city, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor. This time I will invite anybody on the litter committee that wants to come up. Mr. Pena. Lisa, do you want to come up or just wave?
Councilor Pena.
All right. Again, congratulations to everyone. Thank you for the parents to support your children. Our first honoree is Kaylee Leone. Is Kaylee here? Is Kaylee here? Okay. If you are here, if we do call your name, I ask you to come up just on our right side here, okay? And then form a line just in front of the artwork, just in front of us for a photo opportunity for everyone here, okay? And if I do mispronounce any names, I do apologize. Schneider Narcisse? Next is Juliana Ring. Emmanuel Legal. Bianca Martins. Kelsoon Sim. Anaya Ryland. Anaya. Antonio Montesinos. Derek Morales. Is Derek here? Nope. Shaniri Alvarado. Ari Busick. Juliana Abreu. Juliana Ring. Diolinda Miranda. Kaylee Leone. Destiny Sang. Is Destiny here? Ria Cuerto. Cuerto. Did I say that right? No. Raya, I apologize. I apologize, Raya. Kaylin Devine.
It is tough. I haven't done it in a long time, but yeah. Right, certainly. That's their name. With pride.
Deanna Medeiros. Yasmin Jimenez. Zainab Mozoun. They do okay with me? And I'm just going to call the names again, just in case someone arrived after. Is Destiny Seng here? Nope, we have a citation for Destiny. Derek Morales? Nope. Anaya Ryland? And Bianca Martins? No? Okay, we'll make sure that they get their citations. Again, on behalf of the City of Lynn Litter and Trash Committee, Mayor Nicholson, our colleagues here on the City Council, Lisa Nerick, Associate DPW Commissioner from the DPW, everyone that plays a role in this. I know Valerie Vong from the Mayor's Office has worked tirelessly on this project, so thank you, Valerie. And parents, if anybody of the colleagues on the council want to come ahead so that we can take a photo, a group photo, we invite you to come up here with Mayor and our committee. And again, how about another round of applause for all these talented students?
First of the dominoes.
That's Sally's brother? That's nice.
I'd like to call the city council meeting to order for Tuesday, November 28th. Roll call.
Counsel Alanson?
Present.
Present Counsel Chakutis? Present. Present Counsel Calucci? Present Counsel Field?
Present.
Present Counsel Hogan?
Present.
Present Counsel LaPierre?
Present.
Present Counsel Lozey?
Present.
Present Counsel McLean?
Present.
Present Counsel Net?
Present.
Present Counsel Staben?
Present.
Present Counsel Walsh?
Present. We all rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Accept the minutes from November 24th.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion to accept.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
They've been accepted for the minutes. Communications.
We have a city council appointment to the Lynn Traffic Commission, Brian Sanfy, 110 Holyoke Street, effective immediately, and his term will expire September 27th, 2024.
It's the wish of the council. Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
He's approved. Next communication.
We have a city council reappointment to the Human Rights Commission, Christian Racinos, 15 Libby Court, effective immediately, and his term will expire December 31st, 2024.
What's the wish of the council?
Motion to approve.
Your motion approved. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, all set. Public hearing.
We have 414 Broadway, petition of Angie's Lobster to open an eat-in and take-out food establishment with drive-through service. Hours of operation will be 7 days per week from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. We have a letter submitted also, a request to withdraw without prejudice.
Motion to accept?
You have a motion to accept the letter. Seconded? Roll call.
Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes. Next public hearing.
Next public hearing is on a proposed supplemental FY 2024 budget.
Anyone wish to speak in favor? Mr. Patino, do you want to come up to the podium?
Thank you, Council President. The supplemental budget before you is a result of higher than anticipated new growth in the city, as well as an improvement in our local revenues. So what I propose is to put $750,000 into the FICA line item, which had a late transfer last year after we submitted the budget, with the balance in the reserve, so as the department or council needs additional resources for the end of the year, that we'll have them available.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone want to speak in favor? Anyone else want to speak in favor? Anyone else want to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anybody want to speak in opposition to this? Anyone want to speak in opposition? Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion on it? Roll call.
Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes. Public hearings will be set down.
Set down a public hearing for an ordinance creating a cultural council in the city of Lynn pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 10, Section 58. Set down a public hearing for an ordinance establishing the City of Lynn Disability Commission pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8J. Set down a public hearing amending the ordinance establishing a property tax force in the city of Lynn. And set down a public hearing for a sign permit at 100 Ford Street, Greatest Hits Cannabis Company. And finally, petition for National Grid to install conduit from riser pole number 2 to manhole 8-21 at the intersection of Hanover Street and North Common Street.
It's the wish of the council.
Set 'em down.
The motion is set them down. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Set them down. Committee reports, licensing, Councilor Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do have a unanimous vote by our committee. I make a motion to approve that.
Unanimous vote of the committee, motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's approved. Recreational cannabis site plan review, Councilor Staben.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a proposal by Leafy's Holistic Meals LLC to establish a cannabis product manufacturer at 141 Eastern Ave. Unanimous vote of the committee. Motion to approve.
So motion to approve, second. All in, what, do we need a roll call on that? Jim, do we need a roll call for that? No. No? Okay. All right. All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Is that it?
That was all, Mr. President.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ways and Means, Councilor Net.
Yes, Mr. President, all unanimous vote of the committee, I make a motion to approve. Thank
We
you.
have a motion to approve. Will the clerk
Second.
read the Ways and Means in?
Yeah, we have transfers that laid over from November 14th, $828,798 from the Capital Stab Fund to the Druid School ARP expense, $440 from DPW expense to the DPW bill of prior year, $149.50 from ISD expense to ISD bill of prior year, $150 from ISD expense to the ISD bill of prior year, $20,000 from ISD expense to ISD payroll to fund city match for grant, $232,000 from ISD expense to ISD payroll to fund operations for elimination of inspections from an outside vendor, $3,900,000 from a STAB fund to fund an architect, OPM, and construction manager for the new Pickering Middle School, $132,000 from capital STAB fund to the police department for the fund to purchase of servers, $198,500 from capital STAB fund to fund a design study for Central Ave. And we have certified funds, $258,647.92 to the school department to fund 2 school community directors for Ford and Washington STEM schools, $52,000 to the DPW to support the Sustainable Materials Recovery Program grant, $27,595 to the school department for the FY24 PEBT grant. We have an order pursuant to votes of the City Council dated July 13, 2021 and September 28, 2021 regarding the American Recovery Plan Act. City Council hereby authorized the city shall allocate the sum of $64,000 from ARPA for use by the police department for crime prevention software hardware. And finally, we have a resolution. Resolution that the City of Lynn file and accept grants with and from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs for the Parkland Acquisitions and Renovations for Communities Program for improvements to Lynn Commons Historical Fountain Plaza. Whereas Lynn Commons is a treasured community-wide asset and improvements to this recreational area are a citywide priority, as evidenced by the most recent open space and recreation plan. Whereas Lynn Commons is dedicated to park and recreation purposes under Mass General Law, Chapter 45, Section 3, whereas Lynn Commons' ultimate restoration is guided in principle by both user and neighborhood requests, the city's open space and recreation plan, and the Lynn Common Master Plan. One of the Commons' focal points, the historical fountain plaza, is the subject of this grant, and subjects fought through this application. The fountain is currently inoperable, and the plaza has fallen into disrepair. Though this grant application and the allocation of community event block grant funds, the City of Lynn hopes to bring the fountain back online and to renovate the plaza to further establish the authorized to file and accept grants from the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. The mayor be and is hereby authorized to take such actions as are necessary to carry out the terms, purposes, and conditions of this grant to be administered by the Office of Economic and Community Development. This resolution shall take effect upon passage.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on any of that? Roll call.
Counsel Alanson?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Stabbit?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes, carries. Anything else, Councilor Net? Any other
There's no emergency.
no
also.
emergencies? Okay, thank you. Utilities.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have two public hearings, one in Ward 5 and Ward 7, and we also have a discussion that is recommended by Councilor Calucci. We have a conversation with folks from National Grid, and we've decided to continue the conversation about some pothole problems all over the city. We have a unanimous vote by the committee. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. We have a second. Discussion. Roll call. Sorry, not roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. The Lynn Trash and Litter Subcommittee, Councilor Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilor Chakutis and myself, the co-chairs of the Litter Committee, along with Mayor Nicholson and our committee, and all our colleagues on the council, were honored to acknowledge the finalists for the city's second Big Belly Barrels artwork. That's displayed just in front of you here this evening. We appreciate their help in keeping our city clean by beautifying the new Big Belly barrels that have been purchased to go along with the other 60-plus barrels that we already have. There was no vote taken by the committee this evening.
All right, great job. It's a great job by all. Thank you. All right, thank you. Do we have any old business here tonight? I have some new business. I think CFO Mike Bertino is going to come up. He had some exciting news that he wanted to tell us, and I thought maybe to put us in a festive mood before the next new business, but we'll have him come up and tell us.
Thank you, Council President. So after supply chain issues and delivery issues, we finally received the equipment to upgrade the City Hall chambers. The upgrade's going to include a new sound system, of several large 100-inch screen monitors for the public to view when they're at the meetings, as well as a much clearer and easier way to hear everybody. I also believe there'll be monitors to monitor the online activity during the meeting. So if we ever have to go to, Zoom meetings again, each council will have monitors in front of them that they'll be able to view everything going on. We expect everything is physically in the basement, locked up in the basement, and we expect the vendor to start in a day or two hanging some of the equipment. A couple weeks later, we'll have the electrician come in and wire everything up. It's a little bit tricky because this building is historic, but we anticipate sometime late December, everything will be up and running.
There's a microphone that comes with that we can go around.
Yes, I actually believe we have two, just in case one breaks.
Great.
So it'll make it a lot easier. The experience should be greatly improved for everybody.
All right, great, thank you. We needed some good news. Appreciate that. All right, thanks for updating us.
You're welcome.
All right.
What?
You can't hear me, Brian? The 1980s microphone?
What?
Like Phil Donahue. Most people probably even know who Phil Donahue is. All right. We got some other new business coming up. I'm just driving around the city and some of the bigger projects that are going on in the city, and I know fielding some calls from some of the councilors here about some of these construction projects, and particularly some of the CSO stuff that's happening down in the Ward 6 area. It's just, would like to try to have a discussion with some of the people that are here tonight. I see some of the people from Gioso's, the contractor. I see some people from Water and Sewer here tonight. There might even be some people from the gas. People here from the gas company? Anybody here that's a contractor? Okay, thank you. So it's been a cumulative problem. There's a guideline that we're supposed to go by for trenching permits I know Commissioner Hall's here tonight. He's going to answer some questions for us, too. And it's been an ongoing problem. Traffic, trying to route traffic around all the projects that are happening. The traffic's just getting backed up, constantly digging up streets, stuff that's not being put back together right at the end of the night, and, just not really a good response out of any of the entities that are there. If I could have Commissioner Hall come up to this podium for a second. So, Andy, I have a copy, and all the councilors have it here. You guys all got it? And it is a street opening permit manual, right? So I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this. Your agency gives the permits for these, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay. So you're familiar with this. This is something that...
Oh, yeah, yep.
Okay, all right. So I know you've been down to some of these sites for us and went down to look at them the last couple of days, right? In your professional opinion, do you think anybody is adhering to this manual today?
We could be doing a better job.
Okay.
How's that for?
All right, so after November 15th in this, it says that we will not give permits to dig in the street under except certain circumstances, right? It says it in this manual?
Correct, yep.
Okay, all right. So there's street plates all over the place throughout Westland. Some of them are actively dig sites. They're cordoned off, we get that. There's some just floating around out there. If tomorrow there was a snowstorm, what would happen with those street plates?
We'd have a problem.
Yeah. So this has got to get followed by everybody, whether it's the Water and Sewer Commission that's here tonight, GEOSO, right? I don't think anybody here from this council wants to be doing this tonight. It's not really our job to do this, but we will do it and we will enforce it. If it's up to me to continue to drive around in my truck, I will make sure that this is done correctly. And I anticipate that the DPW will do it also. We have your word that you're going to be able to do this for us and make sure this is right, Dan?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you have enough people at the DPW to enforce this?
I do not.
You do not have enough people?
No.
I appreciate the honesty with that. I think that's something that this council could probably try to help with. There's one thing I don't expect you to do is continue to work without enough people down there. So I'm glad that you said that. Could I talk to someone from the gas company or one of the contractors could come up to the podium? Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you? Hey, what company are you from?
National Grid.
You're from National Grid. Okay, thank you. So there's a couple of different things going on here. One of them is the truck storage down the end of Bennett Street. I was there tonight. None of that equipment or trucks can be stored on that street legally. So the contract, the mirror that's down there,
Yes.
they're on Bennett Street. That needs to be removed, okay? Also, what's going on in the downtown area, I don't know who the contractor is. Who's digging down off of, by the post office, do you know? Offhand?
It was a mirror. That job is complete.
It's complete. Is all the pipe and equipment off the street down there?
Yes. I believe so.
Okay, all right, thank you. Going forward, just so we can get everybody on the same page here, we're not going to store materials in the street. There's not going to be piping left on the side of the road. It's in the manual. If you guys don't have a copy, can you get one from the commissioner, please?
Yeah, it's in the permits as well.
Yeah, it says right in here not to store. It doesn't, even before November 15th. It's not allowed, all right? So if you could pass that on to the people down. The other thing, I think Councilor Colucci wanted to bring up the gas company, some of the streets.
Yeah, in the Highlands, they did gas mains to every house all over the Highlands. And they're just little patches. And I heard that you were supposed to repave it curb to curb, and they didn't. And now by Deer Cove, brand new hot top, a month and a half ago, it's all marked up for gas. So we need you guys to, when you do work like this, to put it, back where it was. If it needs the whole street done, repave the whole street, or if you're cutting the line, the length of the street, from the medium to the curb, instead of just half well done. Can we agree on that, you think?
Yeah, I mean, we try to do all grinds when we're done with the streets. And like you said, the service crossings, we try to grind those as well. So, I mean, if we have something up in the Highlands, and I'm pretty sure that we do, we just haven't done it yet. We have a crew going into the Highlands next week doing some smaller jobs. They've been doing Janess Street and the surrounding streets there. Millard, so we do have a crew out there taking care of it.
But the Highland, that was done like a couple of years ago. The streets in the Highlands, the lines, right?
Well,
A
we
year and a
did.
half ago.
Yeah, we've done a couple of projects up there,
Yeah.
so not familiar which.
So it's a mess, you know, the street was in pretty good shape, now it's like, you know, like a roller coaster. And it's not good for the people that live there, or the, you know, the people that drive through the city. That's,
You know, maybe it's a good point. Commissioner Hall, if you could come back up to the podium for a second. Can you tell us, is that on the register for them to pave up there? Do you know?
Without knowing which street you're talking about, it's not, I'm not aware of anything up there. That's outstanding.
Do you know which street it is, Counselor?
the whole, Rick, High Rock Street, Hollingsworth Street, Herbert Street, Grant Street, Rockaway Street.
Upper Allen.
It's all, and I think we talked about this, maybe you and I, and you said it was on the plan for them to repave it. This was like, when they were doing it, it hasn't been done.
Okay, what I can do is I can go back and look at the open permits in that area and figure out what paving is owed to us by National Grid.
Okay. And the village, I know you and I have spoken, most of the streets in the village, Purdon Ave, different things, those were getting paved, right?
We have an agreement with the gas company that the city is going to pave those, and they're going to reimburse us.
Okay, so that's the agreement with
Yep.
them. Okay.
Council Walsh, I got a
Yep,
question,
Council Hogan.
Andy. Who in the city is responsible to look at this stuff after the contractors are done? Who's going to review this stuff after they're done? So then we, as city councilors, we're going around and finding out that our streets haven't been touched in 2 years after a gas line's been put in? I mean, someone has to oversee this here.
We have an engineer who issues permits and inspects trenches.
Well, if Councilor Calucci has trenches that are going on 2 years old, it's not acceptable. The biggest fear I got in Ward 6 is we got the CSO project going on, and we have gas lines going on at the same time, and I got people that are really pissed off that their streets are all getting torn up, and they're not going to be repaired. And that's what I'm scared of. I don't want to be like Councilor Calucci in the Highlands, come 2 years from now, and I'm telling people the streets are going to get repaired. This is the problem. All right, Gioso did a good job repairing the main CSO projects. They replaced curb to curb, sidewalks and everything. That was done. Now we got mayors going through digging up all the other streets. I'm telling you, we're getting the phone calls for this. We're going through those neighborhoods. There's a serious problem here. We got to follow up on this stuff.
Sure.
And we need city departments to help us.
Right. I agree. Councilor Lozzi.
Yes, this is directed towards Mr. Paul McGrath. If he could step up, please.
All right, can I respond to?
You want to address that? Go.
You can respond.
I'll
You can
yield.
respond. Yep.
Sure. So the work that you're referring to in West Lynn is part of the Lynn Water and Sewers CSO project, and one of the they are repaving curb to curb when they're finished. Mira is moving gas mains in support of that work. So Mira moves the gas mains, Gioso comes, installs sewers and drains, and then they come back and they pave it all at the end.
So Mara will move the gas lines. Gioso come in and do the CSO work, and then Gioso will repave. Is that
That's correct, yep.
So when this is all done, there's going to be no gas lines left with trenches in our streets. You're saying? So we're going to. Well, this is what I'm worried about.
Right. Well, I can say that the Westland CSO project is pretty comprehensive in your ward. It's almost every street.
Yep.
But is there another street that Mira's working on that's not in support of that? That's possible.
Absolutely. I mean,
and I'm not saying that we catch every one of them, but
and the one thing that is disturbing is that we've got the main CSO project, which is much needed. All right, we understand that. We know the problems that we've had. We understand that there. I work at the wastewater treatment plant. I understand that. But how could we have the gas company doing work at the same time? And now I understand you want to get the gas lines done first, and then the CSO work done afterwards. Which I just don't want to be. We don't want to be left holding the bag down in Ward 6 because people just think that, hey, we can just rip up the streets and not take care of it.
Right, and I can assure you that's not the thought process. We're trying to do a thorough job here, and the way to do it is to replace the gas mains first. And I think there's a state law that requires them to when you work within a certain distance of them.
And I will tell you, Gioso has done a good job doing curb to curb, and I said that at the beginning. They've done South Street, they've done other streets, and they've done a good job with that there. So I'm not mad at that there. All right.
Council Lozzi.
Hi, Paul. How are you? How long have you been representing National Grid for Lynn, Paul?
Since 2009.
So 15 years. And I just want to say, in the 15 years you've been representing them, you've been very responsive. Whenever I called you, whenever I've emailed you, you've been very good. And I know you're just the representative, and it just seems in the last year, the quality of service from National Grid has been fair to poor. And I know you've been very good in those 15 years. I know, as Councilor Hogan mentioned, you know, he did praise some good work. You've done, through National Grid, some very good work, as you've done recently on Jenna Street and a few other streets. You've taken trenches and not only repaired them, but you've gone from the curb to the actual center line of the road, and it's been repaved, which I'm very pleased, and I'm sure a lot of the residents that live there are. And so I just want to commend you for the prior work you've been doing, and I would urge you to speak to whoever it is, the higher-ups in National Grid, that they've heard tonight from my colleagues and I, that the past year, the quality of service has been very poor. And I think that's kind of the gist of what we're concerned and complaining about. And I know that you've been very responsive, and I hope that they respond to you, and so that you can do the job you've been doing for the last 15 years. So again, thank you, Mr. McGrath.
Oh, thank you. Just a question, when you talk about the service has been, are you talking about the paving we've done in the past year?
Yeah, mostly the repair work. Whenever National Grid has done work, you guys have been the most responsive, the best quality workmanship afterwards, nothing but praise as far as what you guys have done up until about the last year. National Grid's been a little bit slow getting on board. You and I have communicated many times on it. I've communicated with Faith Hassel, and it seems that it's higher up in National Grid that's dictating or responsible for this fair to poor service, Paul.
They started a new paving program, which is just getting on its feet now, and it is not up to 100%. And so I do apologize, and I do see it. I mean, you would call me in years past, and I say, I'll have the street paved in 30 days. Now I have to go to another department, and they are covering all of National Grid, and they don't really, well, I shouldn't say that. They're not as responsive, that's what I'll say.
So do you see an improvement in there where it's new and starting up? Are they going to be doing a better job than they have in the last 6 months to a year?
We talk to them weekly. We have meetings. We go over our schedules. I mean, like you said, we did Jeanette Street. This contractor goes in there. He does the curb to center line. A constituent called me about a week ago. He says they haven't done the cross trenches. I called the contractor. He said, yeah, we got a smaller machine we got to get in there. I said, well, the smallest machine should have been set up right after the big machine, not 2 weeks later, because now you go in there, you pave the big trench. All the homeowners think you're done and you're out of here, and I'm still hearing the traffic rumble over the trenches. I said, we got to have better communication, and once you get in there, get in and get out. Do the job right the first time. I mean, I understand everybody's frustration. I really do.
Good. I'm glad you're still on board, Paul. I know you've been very good, and I hope you continue to do that good work for the city of Lynn. Thank you.
Councilor Jacutis.
You have a question for National Grid. You guys are doing some work downtown. It was at nighttime?
Yes, correct.
Now, my only issue is I'm not notified that you guys are doing the work at night. I'm getting the phone calls from all the neighbors, what's going on in the middle of the night, keeping them up. I understand certain work has to be done, but is there a way to notify one of the counselors so at least we could put something out? I think some were notified, but in the middle of the night, that noise echoes. So 3 streets over, people are calling me in the middle of the night that they're being woken up or kept up all night. And like I said, I understand some work has to be done, but is there a way to communicate with us to let us know, and at least we can let the surrounding buildings know this is going to be happening instead of them waking up in the...
Yes, I mean, if I have a ward map with the counselor that covers each ward, Wayne Losey gave me his years ago. Every project I do in Ward 1, I believe it is, I email him, tell him when we're starting, tell him about what's going on in the project. So when he gets a call from somebody in the neighborhood, because we send out the butter notifications, so when he gets a call, he already knows what's going on, rather than getting blindsided and not having a clue. So, I mean, I will give you my cards, and if you could get in touch with me, let me know the ward you cover, your email, and I can respond with every... And I can respond, let you know what the jobs are on in your ward, and you'll be...
Okay.
Ahead
All
of the
right.
game.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So I just have a couple more questions here. So I know Water and Sewer's here tonight, waiting patiently back there. Some people from Gioso. Is there someone from Gioso, maybe someone from Water and Sewer that just wants to answer some questions? How you doing? How are you?
Marco Gioso, P. Gioso and Sons.
All right, thank you. So I asked everyone, are you familiar with the trench permit?
Yes, I mean, not every detail of it, but yes.
So, and Commissioner Hall's here tonight, so I drove around a little bit, I checked everything. I've been checking things for a while, obviously. I'm sure you guys know that.
Yes.
Councilor Hogan, same thing. So, the street plates, right? This manual says they're supposed to be flush with the road.
Yes, so, we need to utilize street plates when we're trenching and excavating to cover the excavations for safety purposes when, we're not working at night and stuff. We have like internal agreements between Lynn Water Sewer and the consulting engineer who watches us on a daily basis that if it's going to snow or there's snow in the forecast, we remove the plates and we pave. If the snow sneaks up on us, which, the forecasts are usually fairly good, we are responsible for maintaining that area of that roadway when it comes to plowing the snow. So if there's any plate in the road for any reason, which there shouldn't be, because usually we know when the snow is coming, we remove all plates, we backfill all trenches, we pave. But if there is a plate left in the road or there is a situation like that, then Gioso is responsible for removing the snow in that area, and we let everybody know that and then we leave someone there for the duration of the storm to plow the snow.
Okay. So, but as far as the street plates go, just overnight, right?
Yes.
None of them are level, the street. This manual says you have to cut it into the tar and recess it in.
That sometimes is difficult because you need to plant the plate to span over the excavation so far, and you would be like milling or cutting the road at such a wide width that it would not be very efficient or beneficial to anybody to do that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
A steel plate is 1 inch thick, which, when your car tire hits it, it does bump, but it's not like, you have to go slow over it, obviously. But we try to keep the plates out of the travel lanes if we can.
I'm just going to have 1 second.
Sure.
Attorney Lamonica up for a second. Jimmy, this manual that's here, right, regardless of any of that, what does it say it has to be done at the end of the day?
As far as steel plates go, then it has to be secure, and whether that's with asphalt or whether it's with some type of bolt system, that's very clear here in the manual.
And the depth of the plate was in there also?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Councilor Lozey?
Just to add to that topic, there were instances where contractors were required to backfill the trench if there was going to be a long delay, particularly in the wintertime, if there's going to be plowing. Is that something that could be utilized, backfill the trench rather than put a plate on it? And even if it's dirt up to the surface, at least it's something in a car or a truck isn't going to fall into the hole of the trench.
In some circumstances, sir, yes. Like on a shallow water main trench or whatnot, we can backfill them up and then in the morning excavate them back down. But I don't know if everyone's completely familiar with this project. It's a very large and difficult CSO project. We're going to be installing pipes in excess of 72 inches at excess of 20-something feet in the ground. if you were to backfill a 20-foot trench every night, and then dig it out the next day, that's all you would do every day is backfill and excavate it. You would never actually make any progress down the road. So, you know, there are circumstances when that will work on a shallow, smaller diameter trench, and there are circumstances when that would be, you know, almost impossible to do.
Yeah, like a circumstance where you know you're, a particular joint or a pipe is being shipped and it's not going to arrive for 5 days or longer.
Oh, yes, yes.
You know,
Circumstances
you wanna
like that, sir,
backfill
yes,
that.
absolutely. We would
Yeah,
never,
not-
if we're
not-
not continuously working down the road and we're going to leave an area for a week or two, then yes, we would backfill it,
Okay.
secure it,
So
yes.
we'll be watching for that. That
And,
would
and,
be,
and to go back to the steel plates, we typically cold patch around the edges or mix around the edges so that there's a little ramp for the tire to go over the plate. And I'm not saying that we've been doing it in every circumstance, but we can make sure that we have a nice transition on those plates if there's a plate in the travel lane or whatnot.
Yeah, so I just, a couple of concerns. I have someone
Sure.
actually just sent me a picture of a plate. I'm not sure it's yours, but these plates are walking. I've actually called in 2 different plates that have opened up. I don't know, EJ Prescott, were they working with you?
EJ Prescott, they do some work for us, but they don't excavate or plate any trenches for us.
Right. We've had two instances in front of, what's it, the 595 Summer Street. The plates moved. It wasn't secured. Andy, I think
Was that
I
us,
called you
Brian?
about that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was there an incident or did a car get damaged or anything?
There is an instance where a car did get damaged. I don't have that info in front of me, but I can tell you it's happened. This is a concern. I mean, I have family and friends that dig in the street. You know, the street plate's supposed to overhang 2 feet on all sides.
Yes.
They're supposed to be bridging in the middle. I've driven over this with trucks. They move. They're not being put in right. It's a concern. Let me tell you, I don't think anyone in this council wants to sit here tonight and do this with you, but I don't know what else to do. You guys, I mean, I want you to secure the sites. It's a problem. You know, we know it's a big project. How much money? How much is the project?
I believe the total contract value is like 42 or 43 million.
So for $42 million, I think we can expect a $42 million job, right? If I'm wrong to
Yes,
say that.
absolutely.
Right. So I think I have one more thing, because I just don't want you to think it's just this council that are here. I want to have the clerk read into the register tonight 2 letters. One is from the fire chief, and one is from the chief of police and the traffic police officer, I believe.
Okay. This is from the Chief Chris Reddy to Council President Jay Walsh. Earlier today, I became aware of a significant issues related to traffic resulting from road work that was ongoing in the area of Bennett Street, Oakville, Orchard, and Summer Street. I contacted Lieutenant David Hunter, who oversees the Lynn Police Traffic Unit, and requested he go to that area to assess the conditions and report back with any appropriate recommendations. Later in the day, Lieutenant Hunter advised that he made the following observations. Multiple road construction projects involved different contractors were ongoing in close proximity in the area of Bennett Street and Oakville Street. Oakville Street was closed to all traffic with construction equipment and supplies staged along the sides of the street. Active construction vehicles were also working in the area as well. Traffic was therefore being detoured onto Orchard Street, and this included multiple semi-trucks destined for business access from Bennett Street. Orchard Street is primarily a residential street and does not have sufficient capacity for increased traffic flow and, more significantly, the large commercial vehicles. As a result, significant congestion occurred that adversely impacted the residents as well as overall traffic flow, causing long delays to travel through that area. Lieutenant Hunter communicated with a representative working on the Oakville Street project, who provided documentation that they had received authorization to close that street. He had discussion with the representative and made recommendations regarding to the configuration of the construction work zone that would allow for one lane of traffic to remain open so that commercial vehicles could easily access Bennett Street. This representative agreed to those recommendations, and they were subsequently implemented. Going forward, we recommend that road closures should be limited as much as possible, and efforts should be made to facilitate access for large commercial vehicles on appropriate roads, to avoid the adverse outcomes that can be expected when diverted to roads that are primary residential. It is also important to limit the number of projects occurring at the same time with close proximity to facilitate effective and efficient detours. In some case, limitations on work hours to avoid conflict with commuting periods should also be considered. Respectfully, Chief Chris Reddy. The second letter is from Chief Dan Sullivan of the Lynn Fire Department. Dear Councilor Walsh, after becoming aware of a potential impact public safety in the area of Oakville and Orchard, I asked one of our companies to drive by the area and report back on his findings. Captain Ryan Brown reported that there were multiple projects going on in the area and that Oakville Street was closed to traffic. He also mentioned there were supplies being stored along the sides of the road in many of the courts in the area. We understand the need for this construction and accept the impact it creates. However, we would ask that no two adjoining streets are closed at the same time and limit the amount of equipment and storage along areas that would limit access to our fire apparatus in an emergency, unless the streets are completely inaccessible due to unforeseen circumstances. Chief Dan Sullivan, Lynn Fire Department.
So, we heard from both the chief, there was some things that were made. I think the traffic's flowing a little better down this. We appreciate that. The one thing,
just so everyone knows, I mean, I'm sorry.
No, just what I was going to just say is that, it's working better with the streets open. You can't close all the streets off. I understand the challenges behind trying to get a project done. It's causing trailer trucks to go down streets that just can't. And then the gas company dug the street the same day, which was pretty fun, right? For everybody. Councilor Hogan took calls all day long. I was down there. I'm sure everybody heard that because I wasn't real happy about it either. You did make some adjustments. We appreciate it. The thing that I'm going to point to this again for this manual, right? And the city attorney can speak to it also. There's nothing in here that allows anyone to store materials anywhere. And you move most of them, so appreciate that. But you stuck them down on Camden Street, because I went down there and looked. So most of the stuff got shifted. I know there's a project there. You got to move most of the stuff that's being staged. Excavators, things that are being used actively, I understand that. I think the council does. But, there's a stone pile up against the monument down there. You put some barriers up the other day after the police spoke to you, but I really don't want the stone there. I don't know how the councilors feel about the equipment out there, but, you gotta do better. Contractors need yards in the city, and you guys are gonna have to do that.
Yes, so I just want to back up on the traffic plan, so the DPW doesn't just issue us a permit willy-nilly and just go dig anywhere. We have to, they actually make us submit traffic management plans, all kinds of information, what we think our detours are going to be, et cetera, and then they approve them, and then we get our permit, and then we try to implement them. Sometimes we don't get enough officers. That's an issue on a lot of streets. And the officers that show up, instead of doing one-way traffic, they close the road. I'm not blaming the police or anything. I'm just stating some facts that happen. And we try to manage the best we can. As far as staging areas, we have procured 2 separate staging areas in the city from City of Lynn owners that we pay monthly rents on, and we try to put as much stuff as we can in those yards as possible. Some of the stuff we install is large and heavy. It's tough to move around from area to area, and we have to put some stuff on the streets, but certainly, I'm sure we could do better than we have been doing, and we certainly we're going to try to, yes.
Jay, can I add something?
Councilor Hogan.
Lynn Water and Sewer did submit a traffic plan, but obviously that day there with the gas company jumping on Orchard Street, it just created a disaster. But I got a constituent that's probably watching from home right now, and a couple of them that live on Summer Street Place where you guys are actively at right now. They're having problems with getting down their street. We understand you're going straight through Summer Street Place is right there. But they're saying you guys aren't working with them at all either. And that's what I ask, is you guys just work with our residents. These guys are going to work early in the morning. They're coming home from work. They can't get down the street. They're missing trash pickups, everything. And just as much as you guys can be out there, have your foremans work with our residents, just because it's real important. People get very frustrated. They come at us, and we're supposed to represent them. And that's what we're doing. We're representing them. I get right down there. Jay's been down in the area. I come down in the area. I call Bill whenever I have an issue, Bill Russo from Water and Sewer, and just work with our residents, and we would really, really appreciate that. There.
Yeah, I'm not saying that a situation didn't happen, but our supervisors and foremen are trained to. They know the importance of people getting out of their homes. We even provide special plate access if we have to, and if there's trash can come, my guys carry the trash down the street to the trash trucks. We work in all cities and communities, and this is common, in every area. So they know that getting the people to their homes and out of their homes and getting their trash up to the trash truck and everything is very important. And typically, I'm not saying in every circumstance, like something could have happened on a certain day or whatever, but typically we try to go out of our way to help the residents on the street and the people.
All right, I definitely, and that's Summer Street Place, that's where you guys are actively at now. So it's a small little terrace that they're active people in the community, and they really just want to be heard when they're asking for a basic thing like, getting their trash picked up or getting their car in and out just to get to their house, home from work.
How much longer are we going to be on that area, Brian? Yeah.
Mr. People can't hear it though when he's yelling it out, so.
We don't have the microphones yet.
This is Brian Tremblay. He's the head supervisor on the project.
Hi, Councilman. Yeah, Brian Tremblay with PGO & Sons. Summer Street Place is an active work zone. The residents had bad water pressure. Lynn Water and Sewer asked us to replace their water line on the street. We mobilized the crew, replaced the water. All the residents are happy that they have much better water pressure now. Our work has progressed past Summer Street Place, so there is access. There should be no issues. We communicate with everybody. Make sure they can get their vehicles out. We do everything we can to be proactive.
And while we're on TV tonight, can you just let them know that their street is getting repaved where you guys dug under Summer Street Place, right?
Yes, yes. We dug out. We placed gravel. We're going to be paving that shortly.
So just a couple things to follow up if I could. So particularly in that area when we were digging, and obviously with the police and stuff and the concerns they had about Oakville Street, I noticed today the street sign still diverting trucks down Orchard. Is that still a thing? It didn't seem, because Oakville is still open.
Oakville is open, yeah. I mean, if
Right.
those signs were there, they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, if we get that moved, because I think, I got a few calls from some people down in that area too, that I think trucks were seeing it still and going down there.
Yeah, we had
And
traffic,
better.
detour down Oakville Street. So if that sign is there, we'll make sure it's moved up.
Yeah, it's the one on Orchard, so we
Yeah.
could get that out of there, because Oakville's a way wider street. It's made for that.
Much-
I know
much
you guys
better
are
street.
digging down there, and it seems when you opened it back up, it's alleviated a lot of that traffic backup that we had down there. I just want to let you guys know, again, this manual, when you pull the permit with the DPW, they're going to enforce this. You heard Andy tonight. We're going to expect that it's enforced. As far as storage of equipment on the street, as far as, I should say equipment, storage of materials, okay? That sits within the purview of this council, if I'm correct, Attorney Lamanna, if you want to just come up and explain how that works.
That is correct. The council is in charge of public property, similar to what happened with the Broadway improvements. The contractor on that project came and got permission in order to store materials as part of the project. And there may be times that it's appropriate and needed, based upon what I heard tonight and what the council's heard tonight is about the size and the timing. But that approval of the council would be required from the Public Property Committee.
For anything like that. So you don't have permission right now to store any materials in the street going forward. Just to be clear with that, you don't have it. So I guess
when you say materials, what does that constitute?
so any of the pipe that's out there, the green pipe that's on Bennett Street that I saw today on the way in, the stone that's in the Monument Square, that stuff all has to be removed.
You're talking
you can't
about,
store
you're talking
any
about
material.
on a nightly basis?
I'm sorry?
On a nightly basis?
It can't be that. You don't have permission to keep it. You can use it while you're working on the job site, but you can't keep it on the street. You can't put pipe overnight. And, if that's something that we can achieve going forward for you, we'll look at it. I mean, I'm going to gauge it based on, I don't know how the councils feel, but I think we gauge it based on how you go forward here. If that's going to help you, we'd like to work with you, but we're not willing to give permission right now. At least I'm not. I don't want to speak for everybody here.
I have a question.
Yep, Council McLean.
You said that you had to submit a storage plan and other, plans to Andrew, or to the DPW, before you were getting the permit. What type of storage, what type of plan do you have in place right now for storing your items?
To clarify, we had traffic management plans, I'm sorry. Traffic management plans, but I think as a result of your letter a few days ago, we are now submitting work area zones and storage area zones, so everybody knows where we are at any particular time. I don't know if anybody's seen any of those yet.
Then you said you're renting right now some areas or some lots where you can
Yes,
store items?
we're renting one lot from Mr. DeMarcus and another lot on the Linway from another.
Okay, and they're not big enough to hold all of your items, your
I mean,
materials that
like
you
I
need to
said,
use?
there's a lot of material required to do these projects, and it's difficult to get any staging area in Lynn, as I think everybody knows. We had to do a lot to get those two. We're constantly looking for, if GE has some lots, we've been trying to contact them to try to get storage, and it's very, very difficult to do in this city to get an area to house a construction yard, temporary construction yard. But we're constantly trying to work at it. We have procured 2 areas, but there's only so much space in them.
Yeah, so I think going forward, there should be like a requirement for a storage plan or some type of plan where the city knows that these vehicles and items are going to be in this place staged or kept in a certain area. When a contract is coming, they should have to have a storage plan as well.
Yeah. Those were developed over the last few days, and this is Mario. He's the project manager on the project.
How you doing? How are you?
Mr. Councilman, so after you've been talking to Brian and we've had issues, we came up with a staging plan. Your letter mentioned that we were supposed to get permission from the council to store materials or anything on the roads. So in the 2 areas that we're working now, we came up with what we're calling about occupancy plan. And it shows, so the council, I could hand them out to the council if they want to see them. I think I brought enough copies. This is for staging and lay down area, proposal occupancy plan for Summer Street. And then this was the same thing for Oakville Street. So we thought we could show that, and we can provide this going forward. We have bi-weekly meetings with the commission, and we can provide schedules. We give a 3-week look ahead and a 2 weeks look behind what we've already done, and we can communicate better, I guess.
Are these staging areas for equipment mostly, where you're actively digging?
Yeah, this would be for non-working hours, sir. What we would like, so on Summer Street, you can see we're in the center of the street, and we cordon it off. And then we show the area where you mentioned we're putting a crushed stone. So we'd like permission to do this, to continue to do this. And we would provide this, as we continue to move.
So this would have to come in front of the Public Properties Committee? We can't do this tonight, right, Jim? Am I correct about that? It's appropriate this to go to Public Properties. So this won't get approved tonight. And what I would say, and I don't know how the councils feel about this, but I think we'll watch you for the next few weeks. We'll see how you guys do. Okay. And if things are improving and we feel that, we're getting 36 million, is that what it is? How much? 42 million. If we think we're getting a $42 million job out of you, I think maybe we'll be nice. But I'm going to tell you, I'm a man of my word. And, 4 weeks ago, I had reached out to some people, and I'll leave them nameless. And we really didn't get a response out of you guys. So that's why we're here tonight mostly. And I appreciate you being here. Going forward with projects, the DPW, they understand their role, I think, right? Andy? Okay. So we're going to expect this. There's a lot of projects coming down the city, and we're not going to take anything less than the right thing here. So going forward, I'm sure we'll all be in that area. We'll be around a little bit, and we're going to keep an eye on it. And then if it's something we decide that's worth talking to you about and actually looking at, maybe we'll do that. But I think you got a little bit of reputation rehabilitation to do with us here. Okay. We'd appreciate that. Because we want it done, too.
We'll try our hardest.
I appreciate it.
We've worked a lot in the city of Lynn, and we take it serious that you guys have concerns, and we'll work with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Could I just have someone from Water and Sewer who would like to come up to the plate? Council
How
President.
you doing? Good, how are you?
Dan O'Neill, right? Just
Yes.
so people know at home, I know.
Yes.
So I just had a question, Dan, and this project's huge, right? So on a daily basis, they're digging, filling, moving back. Who is looking out for you guys in the interest of the city and the ratepayers?
The commission has a full-time resident engineer, Bill Russo.
Yep.
And Stantec also has a full-time resident engineer on the job daily.
And they're monitoring the job site for?
Quality assurance, quality control, measuring quantities, keeping track of the backfill, the compaction, the paving, the pipe, the quantities, everything that gets done. And a $43 million job has to be itemized and quantified.
Okay, all right, cool. I guess if we could just make sure that Mr. Russo and you guys have that trench manual, so as he's out there watching what's going on, we'll ask him to help us. Andy's short-staffed here, and we realize that, so we're going to ask you to make sure that that's also being done. I went by a couple of dig sites Water and Sewer did that doesn't have to do with this, and there was a few street plates bouncing around that got to be secured. If you could reach out to your crew and let them know that.
Sure, just email me the locations and we'll fix them right away.
All right, okay, great. Any questions for the Water and Sewer by the council tonight? Thank you, Dan, appreciate it. Any other questions from the council tonight? Any other new business? Council LaPierre.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've just been listening and taking it all in, so to speak, but I do have sort of an observation or a theme to me is, maybe it's the teacher in me, but there doesn't seem to be a system, like a system that is created from A to Z that would help alleviate. And I think a lot of that system, councilors have spoken about it, is the lack of communication. I think ground zero is for a ward councilor to know exactly what's happening on their dead-end street, terrace, avenue, street, thoroughfare. That has to be put at such a high priority for this council, whether it comes from Commissioner Hall or Water and Sewer or the contractors themselves or through Terry. We need to make sure, I say we collectively, I'm a councilor at large, more citywide perspective, but our ward councilors need to be on the front end of every single issue when ground breaks. It's as simple as that. Similar to what Councilor Lozzi set up in the Millard Genis. We waited. We were very patient for that to happen. It finally did happen, not without constant probing. And it's not our job. Councilor Hogan's right. You should not be driving around during your full-time workday inspecting work that ought to be enforced by the agencies in which they have the authority over. So if it is shorthanded, we've got to talk to the mayor. Maybe it's a budgetary concern. I'm sure the mayor is very open to listening about making sure that our residents are safe every time we do, whether it be a water and sewer or DPW or a National Grid project in this city, so that people have the confidence that we do have a system in place, that we know what the hell we're doing out on the streets, that we're not doing this willy-nilly. You have experienced people here. I know the Gioso family and the sons, and they've done this work in other communities. And you're absolutely right. We're not going to let them do shoddy work. I'm not saying they are, but we are not going to tolerate C or D work when it's A-plus price tags that our ratepayers are footing the bill for. And I recall, a good friend, Representative Fennell, is in the audience tonight. In 1995, Representative Fennell was our state representative. He's now with the Water and Sewer. He did a fantastic job being the representative of East Lynn, the 10th Essex District at that time, when we were overseeing the CSO for East Lynn. And I remember Steve Smith being the DPW commissioner of that time, and I'm going back 30 years ago. And if there was a problem, he'd send his hench person out, Jim Ryan, and you're damn right Jim Ryan would get that right. He'd go right out to the streets, and he'd dig the hole himself or fill it himself, and he'd tell the contractors who they're working for. So let me just say, and I've listened all night patiently, I want everybody, from the mayor's office to this council to the DPW to LWSC to our contractors, to get on the same page. Not for me, not for you, Mr. President, not for my esteemed colleagues, but for the residents and taxpayers of this city. They deserve so much more as we head into the holiday season, and it sounds like this is going to be a real long, enduring project that people are going to have to put up with for not weeks or months, but perhaps years. And it's been approved, and if this is the foot we're getting off now, we need to fix it so that we don't get these calls, particularly in the wards. And it's embarrassing for us as elected officials to not know what the hell is going on in a given street on a given day. Thank you, Mr. President. I hope to hear progress at our next meeting.
You know what?
You can clap, Rich, if you'd like. Go ahead.
I text Councilor LaPierre, you're quiet as a church mouse tonight.
I couldn't hold back any longer, Council.
All right. Any Councilor Field?
Thank you, Mr. President. I find myself lately always following Council LaPierre, and I think I'm a little bit more soft-spoken. But I know we brought up the steel plate issue, and I remember back earlier this year, and I'm sure it was a state project on Linfield Street, where one of the plates did give through, and there was a motor vehicle that entered that trench, and thankfully there wasn't any serious injuries. But I just want to point that out because, we kind of talk about it, but now we can give an example of why we're concerned about that. So I hope the discussion around these steel plates and the seriousness, I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I'm glad the person wasn't hurt earlier this year, so I hope there is a focus particularly on those steel plates and securing them safely for everyone.
Well noted. I can't say it even any better. I drive around every day. I mean, a lot of people know my job. I'm in the city all the time. I drive trucks. I'm watching it, and there's an issue here. We have to get some quality to reel it in. If sometimes the agencies at hand aren't going to do it. I said it before on the other meeting for the Utilities Committee. This council's going to do it. I mean, if I got to drive around there every day, every night, and make sure the site's done, I'll do it. So once I'm on something, and I know the council feels the same way, I don't usually let go. I know Councilor Hogan's the same way. Him and I drive around down there at night sometimes and check things, and we're going to expect a lot more. So we expect you to reel it in here, all right? So I appreciate everybody's time. Is there any other questions or comments from the council?
Motion to
We
adjourn.
got a motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion's adjourned.